someone I'm related to texted me and asked for the email address of a friend of mine, and didn't think anything of it, just sent it straight away. But later I thought, those people know each other and have each other's phone numbers. Why did the person I'm related to ask me to pass the information along when they could have just texted the person directly? And it didn't matter. It was perfectly fine. And the reason it didn't matter, and I think the reason my person I'm related to asked me, was because you can always ask family. Like, we all have families in all shapes and sizes, and some of them aren't that great and some of them are better than others. But by and large, a lot of us know that when you need something, big or small, in the minutiae of life, or in the huge things you're going through, family steps up. Family helps, because that's what family does. Even if they don't want to, they sort of have to, because they're related to you and that's how it works. And it's a lovely system if you think about it, although maybe not so much when you're the person being asked. But on Sunday, Matt was talking about how we do life together. It's one of our values as a church, something we're exploring at the moment as part of a new series on a Sunday. And we do life together as a church because a church is a family. And I think if you've been part of our church for any amount of time, you will know that this is a church that loves to help. Yeah, if you've been part of our Boxes of Hope, or over the years, there's just been countless times where people have stepped up and helped when someone else has asked. And that's a wonderful way of doing family together, of doing life together, of getting in it with someone and sharing resources, sharing support, whatever someone needs. But for our little thought for the week, or Wednesday warm-up, or whatever we're calling this little thing we're doing, I thought I'd pose a challenge of a different way of doing life together. I wonder if this week we could reach out and actually ask for help. Because it's very easy to help other people. It's nice to help other people. It makes you feel important and needed. It's a good deed to do for somebody, and most people don't actually begrudge being asked for help at all for that reason. But I think it's harder when the shoe's on the other foot. Because maybe we feel like our problems aren't big enough to merit asking for help and we should just struggle through and do it by ourselves. Or maybe it's because someone else might have a much bigger problem than us, or they might need the resources more, and we feel like there's a finite amount of help to go around. Or maybe we just don't want to be vulnerable and humble and admit that we can't do it all by ourselves and that we need someone else. But asking for help builds relationships. It empowers other people and helps other people to know that they are needed and they are appreciated. Yeah, in this time when you can basically Google anything and get answers for and YouTube tutorials to fix most of your problems, we've sort of stopped asking other people for help and advice in all sorts of different ways. And I think there's something quite sad about that. Whenever I have a problem with my sewing machine, I've always text my grandma rather than go on Google, because, well, A, she probably knows more than Google about these things anyway, but B, I like getting that knowledge from my grandma. It's a lovely thing that she passes on to me, rather than something I just quickly looked up online. And it just starts a conversation and means I get to chat to my grandma, which is always a lovely thing to do. So this week, why don't you text someone or ring someone and ask for help? Maybe you can keep it casual. You could say, oh, do you know what, I'm sick of the people in my household and I need to get out and go for a walk with someone else. Please, would you do that with me? That wouldn't be too costly at all. Or, it could be for a big thing. It could be for something that maybe you could probably Google, but maybe it's nice to ask someone else's advice instead. And if you don't have that person that you can text or reach out to, then you can always contact the church office. We have 2 email addresses for specific things. So if there's any big situation or small situation you've got going on right now that you'd like prayer for, you can always get in touch at prayer@maybridge.org.uk, and our prayer ministry team are always monitoring that inbox, and they will be happy to pray for you or with you, whatever you'd prefer. And if you need some practical support, particularly at the moment when we're in lockdown and there's all sorts of restrictions going on, but whenever, you can always email help@maybridge.org.uk. And if it's appropriate, we could share it with the wider church and do family together in the best way possible. But we can do that on a case-by-case basis. But this week, let's not only be a family that helps, but be a family that isn't afraid to ask for help. Have a good week.